Before you export your book trailer to YouTube, I need all of you to check your sequence settings. Some of you, when you uploaded your pictures, the pictures that you put in were not 1920 by 1080. And so if you go to sequence at the very top and then click on sequence settings, this screen should come up. You should see 1920 in the frame size in the video section. That's horizontal, and vertical should be 1080. When you come down below that, under it, where it says video previews, you should also see the width at 1920, height 1080. If you don't see that, you need to change those to those numbers. It should already have defaulted to square pixels and 48 hertz for the sample rate audio. You should be good there. Nothing else needs to be changed. And then click OK. Now, once you've done that, do a quick run through before you export and just make sure that nothing has changed as far as your picture sizes, because, let me put it on, when you changed the sequence settings, if you had a couple pictures that were set at something other than 1920 by 1080, it may have changed the size of your pictures. So just run through real quick and make sure that none of your picture sizes changed. If they did, then go ahead and scale them back to the size that you had them previously. Okay, so also again, before you export it and do your final save, please make sure you read your slides out loud slowly to make sure that there is enough time for me to read them and grade them for spelling and grammar, and maybe have the person sitting next to you read the slides out loud to make sure they have enough time to do it. I'd rather have the slide be a second too long, where I'm kind of waiting for it to change to the next picture, than for me to not be able to finish reading your slide. Okay, so you want to File, Save As, and you're going to save this extra copy and call it Final. So you've already saved it. You've got to save in case you have to go back and fix something. Now you're going to save it again, Save As, and whatever you've titled it at the very end, write Final. After you've done that, go back up to File and down to Export, and then go over to Media. So File, Export, Media, click on that, and then at the very top, do not match sequence settings. I want you to click on this drop-down box for Format and choose H.264. You don't need to write a comment. The version or the output name, this is just what you want it called. So you can change that so that when you see your final cut, the MP4 that you're going to upload to YouTube, you might want to write your name, the name of your book, and this could say export. And then save it. So now you see that title here. You should see here in these locations the 1920 by 1080. And up here, output 1920 by 1080. If you don't export it yet, and raise your hand and let me take a look at it. Then you want to choose, where is YouTube? The preset. Under Format, where it says Preset, you're going to click the drop-down box and go all the way down and click YouTube 1080 Full HD. So you see that here, YouTube 1080p full HD. And then we'll come down, and this may change some of the things up here, but you want to use maximum render quality and come over to video. Again, you see the 1920 by 1080 square pixels. Click the box render at maximum depth. Keep scrolling down, and where it says bitrate encoding VBR 1 pass, go ahead and change that to VBR 2 pass. Now where it says target bitrate, you can leave it at 16, but go ahead and bump up the maximum bitrate to maybe 35. This just gives it better quality around there if you can't get it right on 35. Gives it better quality if certain parts of your video need a little bit higher bitrate than the 16. You've already got use maximum render quality. That should be fine. Your audio. I'm not sure if it really matters whether it's AAC or MPEG. I think last time I checked the MPEG, but I'm not sure. Let me look into that. I really don't think it matters for YouTube purposes. And then you want to keep it at 48,000 hertz. Audio quality high. Okay, we'll go back to publish. And okay, the last thing that I want you to check, if for some reason your book trailer goes on for a long time afterwards, you see a gray area or your music extends, you can have set a sequence in and out point. You can either just go ahead and do your entire sequence if it stops, or choose the sequence in and out point and change these. I would leave the first one there, but if your video goes on and you want it to stop at a certain point right after your credits or towards the end, you can move this here and that will determine where your video stops. If your video runs over 2 minutes and 15 seconds, you might want to change this to where it stops right at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So in any case, once you've done that, you'll just click over here, Export, and it could take anywhere from 5 minutes to 25 minutes. So you want to make sure that you do this at least 25 minutes before the end of class.